Ringside Side Eyes with Jimmy Vibes.
You just want to talk wrestling bullshit. We've said it. No, you're in the river, bitch. Hey everybody, welcome back. I am back this week. I know I told you guys that I wasn't gonna come on this week, but I had to. A lot's been going on this week. I didn't have power for fucking 3 days, so I was out of power. So I didn't think I was gonna be able to do the show because I haven't watched much of the product this week. But I caught up because thank God SmackDown only had one woman segment that I know of. So I did all of that, and then we got all this news and rumors that came out with Paige and Emma, and then Total Divas debuted this week. So I was like, damn, there's a lot to talk about, and I just can't do it alone. So I digged in my bag and I brought out my good friend Brandy. What's up, Brandy?
Hey guys! It's funny. One of your listeners tweeted me not too long ago. Was like, "Oh, I miss you on the show." I was like, "Oh, I'm sure I'll be on there at some point." So
that's
they'll be
dope.
happy to hear.
That is dope. Well, there you go. See, Brandy's here. It's good because, Brandy, I've been trying to get you for a while now because I always go back to some of your analogies and the stuff that you've told me, when we had our conversations, and it just makes a lot of sense to me. And I always like to pick your brain about wrestling because I feel like you have a good mind of wrestling.
Well, thank you. That can be my plug to WWE. Like, hey, I have a good mind for wrestling. Hire me.
Definitely. So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the big news this week, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit of what's going on TV. But yeah, so this past weekend we got the big news that Emma and Summer Rae, and along with Darren Young, all three of them have been released from the WWE contracts, which Summer Rae wasn't much of a surprise to me because, she hasn't been on TV for a year now. And it as much as that it wasn't a surprise to me, it was a bit disappointing to see Summer Rae go. And she's one of the girls that I liked. I feel like she had a lot of untapped potential that WWE could have utilized her in so many ways. But, they didn't. And Summer Rae put out a very lengthy review on how she feels about leaving the WWE, and she doesn't want her fans to feel bitter about it. She wants us to know that she accomplished the dream and she feels fulfilled with her career in WWE. How do you feel about Summer Rae? Were you shocked? Were you surprised with her release, or did you see this one coming?
I wasn't shocked. I think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But honestly, WWE letting Summer go and Emma go, and all of us just ripping our wigs off, being like, I can't believe this. Well, I can believe it because the WWE, in my opinion, has consistently shown that they are not a world leader in being able to create interesting storylines for women or places for women in sports, really. Like, they are not a leader, in my opinion, in women athletics.
Yeah, true. But such a shame, though. It is such a shame. And then, we get Emma, who's been on TV recently. She's been getting a push, and this is the push that Emma basically generated for herself. She's been working really hard backstage and on social media, trying to get people behind her, trying to get the writers to notice her. And so Emma's had countless gimmick changes at this point. They wanted to push the Emelina thing. They were really behind her, but it seemed like Emma didn't deliver with that. And then they came up with the All About Me, Back to the Evil Emma stuff. They changed her theme song one weekend. She had one theme song the next weekend. They changed it back to this. And then she had this really cute one that they came out with. And it seemed like they were starting to go with Emma. She won that gauntlet match. Was it a gauntlet match, or was it some form of fatal five-way or something like that? And Emma... Yeah, whatever. Emma picked up the win to face Asuka, so I really felt like WWE is finally getting on the Emma train, and we're finally going to get something from Emma, because you guys know I love Emma. She's not one of the strongest people on the mic, but I feel like she's one of the strongest workers out of the females, for sure, because Emma used to always entertain me in the ring. So it came, and then she had those matches with Asuka, which were good. They weren't the NXT good quality matches, but they were still good matches. She came out with new attire. There was no indication that WWE was going to let her go at any point, and they just did this past week, and that one really caught me, and I sat down and I thought about that one for a minute. But before I tell you guys about my feelings about WWE releasing her, what are your thoughts, Brandy? Were you shocked or surprised or anything with the Emma release?
I wasn't. I didn't predict it, but I wasn't shocked that they did it. they were she was building that little push for them to push her right out the door. Like when it became when I saw
That's
that
shade. But go on.
Yeah. When I saw that it was going to be Asuka Emma, I was like, of course. Of course it's going to be. Because heaven forbid that you take this actual buzz that Emma has created about herself and do something with it. Instead, you're going to put her in a match that we know she's getting squashed. Asuka is probably the most protected woman on the roster, and with good reason. Mm-hmm. She's a huge draw, an amazing worker, and I mean, other than this like little slip up she had with the collarbone, she's very durable. She doesn't get hurt that often. Whereas a lot of people had some stuff to say about Emma being accident prone or whatever. I was like, Emma's had in her career in WWE that I'm aware of 2 incidents where she had to actually be taken off. That's no more than Trish Stratus had, or Lita had, or Nikki Bella's had, and you know, that's Hall of Famers and worlds or in the longest reigning Divas champ. So I don't really see that as being a viable argument. The viable argument with Emma is that when it came to being on the mic, she had some issues. Yeah. And I felt like she was getting past that. I mean, she really thrived in the original Emma role. And then the evil Emma stuff, it really worked down in NXT. They had her with Dana. Then they split them up, and I mean, you know, Dana went with Charlotte for a while, and then she's been dropped off the face of the earth. It just, to me, when you have talent like Emma has, and a natural likability as a face, and a natural heat as a heel, that's not so much on her as it's on the writers to have not created her a story to play. I mean, I would never in my life look at Tennille Dashwood and go, oh, yeah, her, I'm going to make her this character like Emelina. That's not who, I don't see her as that kind of, is she a feminine woman? Yes, but she doesn't come across as this vapid, blase. Yeah. She just doesn't seem like that kind of person. So I feel like they just missed a chance with letting the evil Emma character really go. And so many people wanted it for her, just like begging for her to finally get a little push and run with it. And I feel like if she'd been on SmackDown, she'd probably still be here. I agree.
I agree with that, because I feel like on SmackDown they would have unleashed, because I always said that Emma, like, I agreed with you, she was never the sex pot. Like, that's just not her. Is she attractive? Is she a sexy woman? Of course. But that's not the aura that Emma gives out. And for me, I felt like WWE gave her this role, they gave her this push with the Emelina thing. But to me, to be a great superstar, you just have to adapt to certain things. Like, if they're gonna throw you, like, Natty got the gimmick that she had to fucking fart. And Natty did it. That's what I'm saying. Like, Emma, to them, I feel like they got to that frustrating point with Emma where they did give her a build-up. They gave her all of this stuff, and Emma just didn't deliver. And I feel like now with the couple of weeks that she has been on television, and then they had her go up against Asuka, they built her, I think that they felt like, you know, she's still not giving us what we want. Because, you know, maybe WWE is looking for something in Emma that we don't know of, but Emma's not delivering it to the capacity that they like. And now, so that's what I was thinking, and I was a bit surprised. I was shocked, because I was like, damn, they're giving this girl a push. They just put her on a pay-per-view, and blah, blah, blah. They haven't used her in forever on Raw, so why all of a sudden now they're using her? They're just gonna fire her like that? Like, that's what shocked me. And then I sat and I thought about it, and I was like, oh, Ronda Rousey was at the Performance Center this past week. So I think that they had a budget cut meeting, and Vince was looking at the money and trying to figure out how they're going to pay Ronda Rousey. And obviously, some people are going to have to get cut. And I feel like Daniel Bryan, Summer Rae, and Emma, they had to cut an active main roster superstar. And I just feel like Emma's name was drawn up. That's just where I feel like it ended.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, that's kind of how I felt. I didn't know about the Ronda thing, but I was just looking at, like, NXT. You know, we just come off the Mae Young Classic. Mm-hmm. They've hired some really
good girls,
good women. And, you know, the independents are churning out better and better women every day. And those ladies can't be in Asuka. They can't stay down there forever. Like, the iconic duo has been down there forever. But, yeah, I just knew that it was coming. I knew that because WWE had hired so many new women, I was like, there's no way they're going to actually give women more time on television. I know that's not happening because that's just not what that company is right now. I knew that somebody was going to have to go, and I kind of felt like it was going to be Emma. I really felt like it was going to be Summer. I could really have seen Dana getting cut.
Yeah, because if you...
Honestly, Dana might not have got cut for the simple fact of, she's just undergone like a huge tragedy.
But I think that she has that good relationship with Arnold Schwarzenegger. She does all those stuff too for WWE. She's a good person to push out there to do stuff like that, because I know WWE partners up with them every year. And Dana won a big award this past year. It's like the biggest award you could win in physical fitness and all that good stuff. So I can see that Dana has some leg to stand. But on the other thing, Dana has a personality. If they tell Dana to go out there and do this, that, and the third, Dana will do it. Dana can be goofy. Dana can be serious, and Dana can be she could come off as like a strong contender if they build her correctly. So I feel like with Dana being still so new and untapped, and Emma have a bit of a stint in WWE, they felt like it was better off to cut off Emma, because they have tried different routes with Emma and stuff was just not sticking, which I'm not saying to me it's a business deal. Like, it was business, and it sucks that it happened in Emma's expense, because I love Emma, and I wish she didn't get cut. Like, there's so many other people I can name, like from the male superstars that could get cut, but like you said, Brandy, they just brought in all this great talent that will easily outshine Emma if they're placed on the main roster tomorrow. So
I mean, like, these days I'm never too upset for someone who gets cut from WWE, because they just have... with Emma, I'm like, this is the best thing that could have happened for Emma. I know a lot of her fans will, like, cry and squawk, and I'm one of her fans, too. And I'm like, bitch, go do it. Go to Japan. Go to these independent shows. Build you a character. Build your following back. I mean, like, look at Jinder Mahal. Look at Drew
McIntyre.
Like, look at Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is arguably enjoying the best success of his career. And then it got nothing to do with WWE.
Emma could be the first woman to leave and do that and come back like stronger and better than ever.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at Mickey. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
I'm not saying that Mickey's had that great of a run since she's been back, but she's still got to come back.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So, there's still hope for Emma. I feel like the door will still be open.
Take the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Take the opportunity, Emma. Get out there, fucking re-earn your name, establish a new character, let WWE know what they're missing. Like, show them. Like, prove it. Shove it down their motherfucking throats. And it just sucks because it's one of our girls, so we're like really impacted by it because we love the women's division. We live for it. Those are our girls. So it just sucks that a cut impacted one of our girls. So
Well, yeah, and it's one of the girls who, like, I feel was responsible for the resurgence of interest in women's wrestling in the past 3-4 years.
That's true. I think that's the sore spot, is because, her and Paige had that fire-ass match to light this women's revolution and get... Because, the women from the past did keep the ball going. But Emma and Paige kicked it up a notch to be like, no, look what we can do, though. Look what we can do. And fans got behind it, and they proved to Triple H that women can go in NXT. And then that's what happened with Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, Becky, Alexa. That's how it all occurred. And Emma's one of the girls that started up for us. And look at how quickly they pushed Emma onto the main roster. That's another reason why I feel like Emma was kind of shafted a shitty draw, because she was brought up to the main roster so quickly. She was the first, the new generation of the NXT woman brought up. Or was it Summer? Was it either her or Summer? Who came up first?
Oh, I think Summer did as Fandango's partner. Yeah, because when Emma came up, that's who she feuded with Summer, wasn't it?
Oh, that's true. That is true. So, two of the girls that kicked off this revolution, this modern revolution, because this revolution's been going on for years. But, it just sucks. I'm sorry, guys. It just sucks.
Yeah, for me, the biggest loss out of that was definitely Summer, because Summer, she could do it in the ring. I understand that she's, like, had injuries, and from what I understand, like, she kind of knew that she may not ever be able to wrestle again.
Mm-hmm.
But Summer is one of those people. She's just got it. She's got that natural charisma. She can play any character you give her. She's interesting. If you were to walk past Summer on the street, you would look at her. There's something about her, and so she really could have been an on-air character and really added to something. But again, we've seen them try to do that with her, and it's not for fault of her not being able to deliver. It was the writing and the angle that they went at their stories with that really hampered
it's true
the times where you've seen Summer as a character. But Summer, I could definitely have seen her as, like, you remember how Renee used to, like, commentate during the women's matches down at NXT?
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see Summer doing something like that. Like, she could have easily transitioned into a same role that a Renee Young.
Yeah, but have more personality where she passes gossip, talks a lot of trash to the wrestlers, and they can't hit her because they'll get fined. You know what I mean? Like, she has that protection to be shady. Yeah. It's just so much that WWE can do, which leads to my next point is, sometimes WWE don't cut the talent. Cut the creatives, because the people that are sitting down putting the pen to the paper, they're not coming up with good stuff. So it's time to rotate that fucking door, get in some new young blood in there. Like, you need some fresh people in there, freshen it up, not these old tired ass wrestlers. I'm sorry. It's time for a fucking change. And that's what we need to focus on. It's not cutting the talent. It's cutting the people that are putting the pen to the paper for what we're viewing, because half of the stuff that they're giving us is nonsense. Like, we come up with better things in 2 minutes sitting down having a conversation. Like, Brandy, come on. We just came up with something. Like,
I mean, like, a great example of that is where Charlotte is right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, look at what... Charlotte has been arguably one of the hottest superstars since coming up from NXT, since being at NXT. And now she's just been, like, kind of falling it flat.
You know what I feel like?
And then Sasha, like, Sasha and Charlotte both are so comfortable in their characters. They know who they are as characters. And on the main roster, you really see them kind of struggling in storylines because they're not getting anything. No creative direction.
Yeah, like, you can't place the blame on them because, like, especially with Sasha and Charlotte, creatives is just garbage right now. They don't know what to do. They want to book all these women, get all these women established, but the point that they're missing is we need story. It's not Sasha gets a win every fucking week. Every week Sasha's picking up a win, either live show or on a televised show. Sasha's always winning. They need to fucking humiliate Sasha at some point. Like, there's something needs to go. Like, Sasha needs to go heel after Bayley ASAP, and let's set off that feud, and then have Asuka have Nia eventually take the belt off of fucking Alexa Bliss, and have Asuka in the meanwhile build herself up to face Nia. That's what I want to see happen on Monday Night fucking Raw. But girl, it is what it is. But I could tell you what happened on Raw this week. A mess. We had... Let's start off with the good stuff. So we had a match between Alicia Fox and Bayley that was set up. So Alicia Fox comes out with the captain hat, which I thought was cute, and I was waiting for her to do something like that. I kind of figured that Alicia Fox would get like a captain's hat or something, because she's a very playful character and she's a bit looky and kooky and all over the fucking place. So I was like, all right, that makes sense with her coming out with this hat. I love it, even though it's Halloween. I was like, dope. So she comes out there, she's running her mouth, she's the captain, paging Paige, telling Paige that I'm not Paige. Talking to Bayley, saying that she's not going to have a match with her, but she has a replacement. And this is ushers in Nia Jax. Nia makes a triumphant return. She comes in, she beats up on Bayley. I love that little gore roll that she did when she barreled through Bayley and then came off with the leg drop. I thought that was dope. It was a good match, whatever. And established Nia Jax, and Alicia Fox placed Nia Jax as her first pick on the team, which I pretty much saw coming. I was like, this is good. Nia needs to be on this fucking team. And I don't think Asuka should be on this team. All for Alicia Fox building mainly a heavy heel side. You know what I mean? Because the SmackDown girls superstars are coming out very babyface in this feud for some reason, even though they're the ones that came to jump in on the girls. But you got Naomi, you got Becky Lynch, you know what I mean, and they're really big time baby faces in WWE. So I'm going for it. So I thought it was good with Nia versus Bayley. What are your thoughts on that?
I did too, and it's nice to see the crowd a little bit more receptive to Bayley now, because for a hot minute they were not.
Got
they
boring.
were not about Bayley.
Got boring.
Yeah, they did, and again, it's like, wow, even the Bayley character. But it's nice. It's nice to see Alicia Fox get a little time in the sun. And yeah, you're right. Like, of course, Nia has to be. Nia is kind of. And I feel bad for her because Nia is kind of their, like, show pony in these kind of matches.
She's the big show.
Yeah. And she's kind of getting that treatment because she gets up there to where she's got some substantial wins, but she's always just, like, slightly skirting, having a real run at the title, like, to where you're like, oh, yeah, Nia's definitely taking it. I've yet to see her in a match since down in NXT where I really thought she was going to take the title.
Yeah, because it's main roster booking. It's just trash. It's just trash. Nia's matches go quick. And I'm ready for them to fucking go with Nia. Nia's the girl. Alexa Bliss has been doing a great job, but it's time to switch it up. It's just that time. It's that time.
Alexa's been a little over-exaggerated, or not over-exaggerated, but over-saturated.
Oh, definitely.
Fans, I feel like. And honestly, I know a lot of people really love Alexa's Little Miss Bliss thing.
I love it.
But I'm kind of ready for her to, like, get away from
the belt,
Little Miss Bliss, and more the goddess. Like, I don't really feel like I've seen her step into that role, because she's still wearing the, like, cutesy kiddish kind of colors. Her shirt's like a little girly kind of, and I get it, she's a small woman and she's cutesy and stuff like that, but I want to see her own that role more, like how Charlotte went from, just being,
Flair's daughter to the queen
woman. She's Ric Flair's daughter, to where she stepped into the queen. She was I don't get that feeling when Alexa comes out. I'm not like, oh, it's Alexa Bliss, the goddess of WWE.
You see, you know why?
Not like when you see
because
Charlotte,
that's the problem.
She's so regal and.
But that's the problem. We already got a queen. We don't need a goddess. And I prefer Alexa Bliss as Little Miss Bliss, and I want her more away from the goddess, because to me, when I look at her, I don't see goddess. Because to me, a goddess is a tall, statuesque woman with the blonde hair and the golden whatever. Like, to me, that's a goddess, like an Athena. And I don't get that from Alexa Bliss. To me, what I get from Alexa Bliss is the ultimate opportunist, little tricky Miss Bliss. That's who she needs to go at. She has the whole twisted bliss and everything. She needs to go more for that role where she sneaks to win, she cheats to win, she always finds a way to win, like how they had her on SmackDown. Because when she was on SmackDown, that's when the Little Miss Bliss was built, and they were kind of billing her after the whole Edge, ultimate opportunist, always there at the right time, always knows how to win matches, always winning, picking up these wins. This little girl, how is she doing it? Because she's smart. She puts her head in the game, and that's the character that they built her on SmackDown, just super smart and savvy and always a step ahead. And on Raw, she's just cocky, and it's just to the point where I'm just bored with it. You know what I mean? But I love Alexa. I love her. I think she's super entertaining.
I don't identify with the, like, little kid kind of thing. I feel like she's. I'm like, it's the Harley Quinn thing. It's a bit played out for me. I'm just like, I love Alexa Bliss. I think she's, like, wonderful as a person, and an entertaining person to watch. But I'm just ready for her to kind of
give you something new.
Or give me something else. Give me a side I haven't seen.
Yeah, but that brings us back to creatives. Like, come on. Get more interesting with Alexa. And Alexa's one of those characters that they could easily get a little more interesting with her. And to just have her dig into other ways. Like, have her do other scenarios with these superstars instead of just trash talking on the mic, which
well, do you remember though, like, I even feel like they've kind of interfered in her promos, because if you remember when the draft first happened and she was coming down, like, you know, they were doing the whole thing where all the women come down after each other, she like blew everyone up. She's an intelligent person. She has a
great vocabulary,
good handle on her vernacular and her vocabulary.
Yeah.
I feel like Alexa Bliss is one of those people that could just insult you like 10 ways from Sunday, you know? And I'm like, just let her loose.
Yeah, use it. That's what I'm saying. Like, they need to allow her use it, because I feel like the goddess, she needs to step away from that. I can't connect. Like, come on, you have the little tacky red and blonde hair, and then you want to be called a god. Like, no, it's just no. It just doesn't. It doesn't match. It doesn't match for me. But you know, speaking of Alexa, all her trash talking and all of this led her to a main event match with Mickie James on Monday Night Raw. Now, I didn't get to see this match because I lost power in my house. Like, we had no power this fucking week. It was just a fucking mess. But I watched a little bit of it on YouTube. I was streaming it on YouTube because obviously I didn't have cable. I didn't have anything. I don't even have cable. I stream everything. So I just found somebody who put up a link, and I was just streaming. It was really bad quality and not something. So I didn't really get to see most of the match, but and then I caught some highlights of the match or whatever. And it was nice to see that Mickie James is wearing her same 2007 gear. Like, Mickie, I got rid of everything I had in 2007 in my closet. You couldn't get rid of that tired ass gear. Like, really, that gear has just seen things. And I noticed that a lot of people on social media were really disappointed about the finish, because apparently Alexa Bliss knocked out Mickie James in the match with the forearm, and people were really upset that a 6-time women's champion got pinned by a forearm in the main event of a Monday Night Raw. So I see the big uproar, and then there was a whole... Before I get into that, Brandy, what did you think about the match? Because I didn't really watch the full match, so I can't really, like, say it was horrible, it was good. I just said what I saw. So, what were your thoughts?
I am in the same boat. I didn't watch it either.
You know, that's terrible.
I saw the highlights. I saw the highlights, and I saw all the, like, drama about it. Mickie and Alexa, the last match I saw with them was good. I feel like they're both good workers. They can work a match together.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with people. I really hate how when Mickie James came back to fight Asuka, it was this big deal. Mickie James, 6-time women's champion, like, badass kind of woman. And now they treat her, I mean, immediately, what do they do on Raw? Hey, Alexa, go out there and make fun of how old she is. Like, it's like, honey, she might be old, but she could whoop your ass. And she's not even old. She's like in her 40s or something. Like, I'm pretty sure Stephanie McMahon is older than Mickie, so I don't know why anyone's going to come out pointing any fingers, but...
Why don't they call out the men that are older that come back? Why don't they say The Undertaker's too old to be wrestling?
Every time The Undertaker rolls his geriatric ass down the ramp at WrestleMania.
You don't hear that. You don't hear about Kane. You don't hear about Hulk Hogan. You don't hear these things when they come back. Ric Flair. Like, so why do we have to hear it about a woman? So that's really, like, so much for the revolution and the women's thriving and pushing forward. You're going to come and bash a woman on her age. And Mickie James always gets these shitty storylines. They come after her age. They come off her looks, her weight. It's just too much at some point where I'm just like, Mickie, at some point, be like, no, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, get creative. Put the pen to the motherfucking paper, writers. What are you guys getting paid for? There's so much that Alexa Bliss can go at Mickie James about. Like, why are you still wearing the same fucking gear? It's 2017. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a good way to get a feud going. I want to see somebody attack Mickie James' appearance. Because Mickie James does look like a clown.
Yeah, it's like it's a perfect angle there. But like, everything is about you is dated. It's the same old attire. It's the same old moves. It's the same old Mickie. This is the new era. You know, they could do something with that, and they just don't, because
lazy
they don't
booking.
Hire people who actually watch wrestling. They get all excited when they hire some freaking former soap opera writer. And yes, to a degree, wrestling is like a soap opera. But you gotta have someone who understands the business. Like, this is the whole point of the WWE of professional wrestling is that it is a soap opera that revolves around what goes on in the lives of the men and women who put it down in the ring. Get your shit back to that and you'll have a better product.
So true. But I also looked at some stats, right? And they showed when Sasha Banks and Charlotte main evented Raw against Alexa Bliss and Mickie James main event. And people bitched and complained about Charlotte and Sasha Banks' feud. But bitch, they drew in the ratings. They carried on the ratings on the fucking main event shows. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James haven't. And that's, once again, and that is due to the poor writing. The story was just garbage. And then again, it's the lack of, when it comes to Mickie James doesn't do much exciting things. I'm sorry. Like last week, she had a pop where they let her come out and do that DDT in the high heels. Like that was iconic. That's something that's always gonna be memorable. That Mickie James walked out in like 7-inch heels and DDT'd her. They need to carry on stuff like that so these women can generate that demographic and keep people in their seats and not change the channel to be looking forward to this main event, because they should have like had little segments in between Raw to let us know that this is leading up to this main event. You know what I mean? But they just don't do it. They just don't. And now I see, because one of my listeners, I tweeted, oh, I missed Raw and SmackDown this week, and they were like, James, you didn't miss much. It was a mess. And now I see what they're talking about. So it was just craziness. But
one thing I will say though is, when you see a lot of people complaining about, like, for instance, the Charlotte and Sasha thing, like women, like actual women wrestling fans, we were super excited about it. It's always some like dude in his basement in the Midwest being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe like a woman's next." You know, and like I'm in these wrestling groups on Facebook, right? And I'm in like one for a particularly like well-known wrestling podcast. And so I'm like the only girl in there with a bunch of dudes. And one day they were complaining about Naomi. You know, Naomi talks about like snatching weaves and stuff. And she said that, and someone put in there, this dude wrote, Naomi has got to stop this with this snatching weaves thing. Like, that's never gonna get over. No one's ever gonna say that. And I was just like,
what? He's so out of touch.
Already over. Like, Naomi didn't start that. And I was like, you gotta go get some either gay friends, some drag friends, some friends of color.
He needs to go down to the city. What's wrong with him?
I was like, I'm from Alabama, and I know about snatching weaves. What the fuck is...
Just a mess. They're just out of touch, out of date. They don't know. They play War and Warcraft when Raw's off.
That's the fan base that you see that's most vocal. There is always some dude named
the trolls.
Jeffrey from Ohio being like, well, can't believe that they're actually letting first you let them vote, then you let them be in wrestling.
Yeah.
What is this?
Just a bunch of fucking trolls. So I guess we can move on from Raw. We get to SmackDown. Now, SmackDown, we had a segment where Captain B was, trying to pump up her team, letting her team know that when they get into Survivor Series, they're just going to kick ass, and this, that, and the third, whatever. And then Natty pops up. Natty throws her shade and shows up her championship. And then that was it. I didn't see the girls for the rest of this damn show. Did they pop up, Brandy? Did you see them? Because I didn't.
I didn't.
I guess that was it. And from that segment, all I say is I'm still excited that Becky Lynch is our captain. But what I don't understand is, why isn't she in the pictures, the promotional pictures? Why isn't it Natty? Why is it Charlotte? And I know a lot of people come at me like, oh, you won't say anything bad about Charlotte, but you're quick to drag Naomi. Like, bitch, because Charlotte doesn't do enough nonsense for me to call her out on, okay? Because Charlotte's usually to the T. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna.
She's a consummate professional.
She's solid. And I like me a well-rounded, solid bitch that knows what the fuck they're doing. That's who I rock with. I'm sorry that you're mad that my fave does no wrong. Well, I'm not going to say like she's Jesus Christ, but she has her flaws. But Charlotte does a pretty fair, good amount. Like, she does a good job. So anyways, I don't understand why the fuck they have Charlotte in the forefront. Why is her picture and Alexa Bliss's picture up, They should put Natty, since Natty is Alexa Bliss's opponent. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm like, if they're gonna play on that champion versus champion thing, then they should have obviously
the champion. Yeah, so I don't get it. I know that Charlotte is a known face. I know that she's their girl. She's a company girl. WWE loves to push her out there because she's a good talker. She's a flair. This, that, and the third. But she's not your champion, WWE. Your champion is Natalya Neidhart, who's on a hit reality TV show, Total Divas, that you guys are trying to push. You know what I mean? Like, Natty's doing her own thing too. Give Natty that spot. She's the champion. It's her time. And then people want to be like, oh, Natty's not a draw. Natty's not this. Natty's not that. And the reason why Natty's not this and Natty's not that is because you guys don't see her faces on the motherfucking posters. That's my problem. Okay? Like, and I am getting a little heated because I know how you people be like, James, you get too mad on here. But sometimes you guys get on my nerves. Like, somebody is really trying me in my Twitter account, and I can't wait to get into this topic, Brandy, because I'm fuming right now. But,
oh my God.
but that was SmackDown. You have anything else? And what I will say is, you know, if I see something, I'm going to say something. Naomi had a new gear, and whatever. It's a mess. Next. Brandy, what do you have to say?
I didn't even see the gear, so I don't know. I have not watched really anything this week.
I know they get mad at me. I got all these dislikes last week from the name because they didn't like that I called out Naomi on her 30th gear for this year. Honestly, Naomi's probably up to 30 gears at this point.
Look, I love different gears. I'm all about it. But Naomi is sometimes hit or miss with me. Her personal style and my personal style just do not compute.
I'm not here for it. I'm here for, you can have the same, what's the word I'm looking for? The same tone.
Same cut.
Yeah, same cut, same tone, but different colors, play around, different patterns. I'm good with that. But when you constantly change to a leotard, to a two-piece, to leggings, to a full body suit, to a backpack, to a furry hat.
It's the opposite of the problem that we had with Paige. Do you remember when we were just all bitching at Paige? I was like,
oh no, I didn't bitch. You guys bitched about it.
All of her wardrobe money for the year on her WrestleMania jacket because she just wore the same thing.
Yeah.
For 6 or 7
months. I don't mind that because that to me that established, because I remember having this argument with Gigi and you. I think it was you and Gigi that were telling me about it. And I was just like, I don't care. I don't give a shit. Because to me, I'll always go back to my whole little analogy that just makes perfect sense to me. If Superman changed his gear in every comic book release, would he still be as iconic? No. His costume wouldn't be popping. People wouldn't be buying his costume. Clark Kent, it has the S on his chest. If he moves the S on his chest every fucking magazine cover, he ain't gonna be as iconic as he is.
True. For me, I would have just, I really loved Paige's purple gear. And I liked the red that she did. And then she settled into the black and she just kept doing that. And I'm like, that's fine. I like that too, but just add little things here and there to just spice it up.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I get it. That I wouldn't mind too if Paige did dark purple. Because, the thing with Paige is she doesn't do multicolor, she doesn't do bright colors, and that's part of her character, so she probably felt like, oh, let me just stick to this, whatever. I can't even get a bright color if I wanted to. Whatever. But I do agree. She should have went with the reds, the browns, the greens, you know what I mean? Keep it like a dark tone. She could have done that. And you know what? She's coming back soon. I can't wait to see her new gear. Yeah. But if she comes back
Did you see that she launched a YouTube channel?
Yes, the Glampires, of course, Zara. You guys know I love Zara down. So they're going to have a whole new little podcast.
When I saw that, I was like, oh my God, yes, Zara and James is going to be so excited.
Yes, but Zara was supposed to kick off her own podcast this month, and that never happened. So I guess she switched it over to Glampire to work with Paige and Rosa Mendez, which I kind of was like, Paige is going to be on the road soon, girl. So that's going to be tough. So that's why I was just like, I don't know how this is going to go, but I think that they've seen the success of the Bellas and with their YouTube channel, because shout out to the fucking Bellas, they're almost at 1 million subscribers on their YouTube channel. So that's major.
Bella's YouTube constantly.
Yeah, they do a good job. I'm subscribed to them. Stuff pops up, I click on it, and I watch it. The Bellas are doing a great job when it comes to their YouTube. But Bellas, girls, I'm coming for you too. That's why Brandy's here, girl. I came with my receipt, and my receipt is Brandy. Okay. But let's talk a little bit about NXT, Brandy. This week on NXT, did you get to check out NXT?
I didn't get to watch any.
Well, we had a quick little woman segment on NXT. It was a match with Tayana Conchi. Like, I just can't stand how they say her name on commentary, Conchi. And I'm like, all right, they need to change that because it just doesn't sound right. So you had Tayana Conchi versus Nikki Cross. They've been building a little feud between the two of them, and it's a fresh feud. It's fun. It's something new. It's a new girl. So it's nice to get to see Tayana get in the ring and actually see her cut her teeth, even though she lost to a quick match to Nikki Cross. But I feel like it was still good to see her, and I can't wait to see this girl evolve. And I like her. I like the girl. Have you seen any of her work yet?
I have. I've seen her stuff. She's the little love child of Renee Young. And
Natty. Yeah. So,
yeah, I've seen her work, and I have actually been watching NXT more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't watch this past week, but I saw her initial run-in with Nikki. So,
okay.
I mean, there's no shame in losing to Nikki Cross.
No. She did, she's a good girl. She's new. She's just getting her feet wet. So, like, she's very promising. Like, her foot is grounded. She's grounded. She's a little green, but, she's going to find her way. I really believe that. Because right now, they're billing her as the real black belt or something like that. So I just want to see them keep evolving with this girl, and I can't wait to see what she's gonna do, because I really feel like she's gonna generate a good fan base. I really do, because people are gonna get behind this girl. She's very athletic. She's pretty. So the only thing is the character gonna come through? So that's what I'm waiting for. So I'm excited for this girl's future. I really am. And then later in the show, we had the Icons. They're out there being funny, making fun of Kairi Sane, just doing the iconic thing, blah, blah, blah. And then Kairi pops up and sticks an elbow in Billie Kay's face, and they announce that they're going to have a match next week. So I'm excited to see Billie Kay versus Kairi, because, Billie Kay ain't going to be in that match at TakeOver. But, in some way, somehow, Billie Kay is going to get involved, because, it's the iconic duo. Hello. So, yeah, I'm excited. NXT's doing their thing. Go ahead.
Honestly, Kairi is the last person. I love Kairi, but she's the last person I want with that title.
Me too.
Because I feel like they're going to just do the same thing with her that they did with Asuka. Let her have this long title reign. And I just don't want that again. It's too soon to do that again after Asuka just left,
Yeah.
And, a lot of people are wanting to see it be on Peyton or, Ember or someone like that.
I think it's going to Peyton.
I think that it would be a missed opportunity to not put it on Peyton.
We need a heel champion. Brandy?
They haven't had a little duo like Peyton and Billy since really the BFS. So I think it is time for the title now.
We haven't had
that's the most legitimate title in the WWE right now, is the NXT Women's Champion.
And we haven't had a legit heel champion since Sasha Banks.
Yeah,
on
so
NXT.
it's time.
It's time. And I think it should go to Peyton, for sure. But now, let's talk a little bit about the Bella Twins. Because the Bella Twins launched Birdiebee. Shout out to them. They've been working their ass off on this brand for a while now. I know that this is something really important to them. They really want it to be successful. And I was excited for them because, for a long time I've been like, the Bellas need to get on that business point. They need to start setting up businesses, since they keep talking about their brand. Like, Nikki Bella wants to build a big brand, an empire. And I was like, okay, that's good. Get some business deals going. So, they did the wine. I thought the wine was a good idea. That's something that they should have tapped into a long time ago. They got into the YouTube. They did the YouTube. They got the spin-off television show, Total Bellas. Nikki Bella is the executive producer on both Total Bellas and Total Divas. I did not know that she had the Total Divas executive producer nod on it, but then it made a lot of sense because she had input in bringing in Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, and Carmella into Total Divas. And these girls work hard. They work hard. So I was super excited to see their brand and how they're gonna do, how it's gonna grow, how it's gonna flourish. So launch day came in yesterday. So I was like, let me go check out what's going on with the girls over here on Birdiebee. And man, I clicked onto that freaking page and I saw that they're selling a tank top and a t-shirt for $50 plus shipping and handling. You're going up to $63 for a fucking t-shirt. I don't care if it's made out of fucking I don't care if Nikki Bella stitched it herself. I'm not paying $64 for a freaking tank top. Absolutely not. Brandy, you're a woman. You're the demographic that they're trying to get. You know what I mean? You're a girl that watches WWE, who follow these girls. You're in their fan base. You're in the demographic. How do you feel about the launch of Birdiebee? And you can be honest. This is an honest platform, Brandy. You know.
Look, when I first heard about what they wanted to do with Birdiebee, I was so excited. They wanted to do this like inclusive thing. They wanted to give back. It was panties with a purpose was their whole thing. You know, Bree's this like supernatural hippie mama. Like that's why I started liking the Bella Twins as I watched Total Divas.
Yeah, me too.
I saw Bree and Brian, and I was like, oh, I relate to you because I feel passionately about environmental issues too. So when I log on to Birdiebee, you know, it's all this women's empowerment and all of you are beautiful and this and that. And I log on and see that the largest one of their friggin' shirts is a size 12. Now, I had said online that the average size woman in the United States is a size 14. That's actually wrong. As of 2016, the average size woman in the United States of America is a 16.
Yeah.
And so the Bella Twins are like, I'm like, who are you selling this to, honey? Your audience is primarily North America. I know WWE is global, but primarily North America is where WWE is the biggest. I was like, and you've just completely alienated. And then a lot of people are like, oh, so I tweeted out that I was disappointed that the largest that it comes is a 12.
You're not the only one.
Women's empowerment doesn't stop at a size 12. And I had a lot of people say, well, like they're going to come out with a plus size in January. And I'm like, then they should have waited to launch this brand in January. Because let me ask you this. Right now in the world, all of us are begging for is inclusiveness, right? That's the biggest thing. That's why we have such issues, and that's why everyone's like, oh, everyone's so sensitive. It's not that we're sensitive. We're just tired of the same old bullshit. We want everyone to have their place. We want everyone to feel included.
Yeah, tired of the excuses.
Tired of it just being one.
It's just excuse after excuse. It's like, no, give it to me real. Put it up front. Period. Don't wait. Like, a lot of people are upset as well that they launched in fall, but they don't have sweatshirts available.
They have, like, some kind of sweats. But, so, my thing was, they're like, well, the Bellas are going to launch this, like, they just wanted to get it out there because they were feeling bad that they had been talking about it so long and didn't have it out there. And let me ask you something. In cosmetics right now, what's the biggest thing? Fenty Beauty. Yeah. Why is Fenty Beauty number one? Because it was the first one that launched, didn't release like 3 and then come back and add some more. The first one that launched with 40 shades that included from an albino light to person,
the darkest
all the way
shade
up to the deepest, darkest things. That set Fenty through the roof. That got Rihanna mad props, right?
See,
the Bella Twins had the opportunity to do that, to launch a brand that was legitimately inclusive of women of all, like their whole thing is they're trying to do this so for globally to globally impact women. Well, around the world, women come in different shapes and sizes, and you have not, but you've catered to something that's 4 sizes under the national average of the country that you fucking live in. And then, like, for Brie to be so hippie natural, first of all, they're using straight up cotton, and that's fine.
That's fine. It's 100%.
Yeah, it's 100% cotton, and everyone's like, oh, but it's cotton, that's natural. Yes, but cotton takes more than any other fabric of water consumption. It also uses more pesticides. Like, there's 1,000 deaths a day on average from families of the people who, like, work for cotton. They're being poisoned by all the pesticides that they're having to use on that. Like, cotton is terrible for the environment. So damaging. Their other stuff, their sportswear, it's made out of a tri-blend fabric, which is like cotton, rayon, and nylon, I believe, all heavily synthetic.
Yeah, nylon is definitely synthetic. So that's why I didn't understand
all treated with harsh chemicals.
See, Brandy, because I didn't understand the defense from the Bella. Because, some people like me, I love Nikki Bella. Me and you, we love the Bella twins. And I'm still rooting for them. I hope their line's successful. But they put out their product to get feedback. And this is feedback. I just thought, damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, the synthetic thing. When one of the fans came and started, their big defense was, oh, it's all natural. It's all natural. It's natural stuff. It's natural stuff. Okay, I get that. Okay, but there's still stuff that they're putting in the product to make these clothes that are synthetic. So I don't want to hear that it's the natural. That's why the prices are so high. Because that's what got me. Because I'm looking at the fans' pockets because money talks. Like, I understand the whole size thing, but if whoever's paying over $50 for a tank top, that's fucking ridiculous. You are really loyal to the fucking Bella Twins, and good for you. Good for you for having that money to go spend $70. A girl almost paid $78 for a pair of leggings, and that was $78. It came up to like $78 due to shipping and handling to the UK. Like, really? Oh my, that's just excessive. That's excessive. And I gotta be real with it. I can't sit on this show and act like Brie and Nikki are doing the greatest thing for this business when it looks like they're kind of playing themselves. And then it goes down to the marketing. Their marketing has been very poor when it comes to Birdiebee. And you could go to the head itself, like Brie Bella. I looked at Brie Bella's Instagram. Brie Bella does not have one link to click on to the Birdiebee store. She posts it on her posts when she posts up a picture or whatever, but she doesn't have the direct link on her bio. And I'm just like, who's managing this woman's account? Who's their partner? Like, is it just them two? Like, they need to really get it together, girls, because it's not looking good.
Yeah. Well, here's the interesting. So their shirts are oh gosh, I'm getting kicked back from my thought. Their shirts are cotton, right? 100% cotton. You can buy a pound of cotton for like 68 cents a pound. It only takes 10 ounces to make a man's dress shirt, which is exponentially more fabric than a woman's tank top, especially when you're only catering to up to a size 12.
Right.
So when you look at that, these shirts, the fabric to make them literally cost a few cents. Okay?
Yeah, you could get
negligible amount of money to make that.
You could get natural.
And so I understand there's the distribution and all that, but they're grossly overpriced. They know it.
They know
whatever. Like, they're trying to make their money. I get it, but it's ridiculous because those same shirts that you are distributing can be bought at a local Walmart for $1.25.
Exactly.
So,
you can buy naturally made clothing for way cheaper than $50. Way cheaper than that. It's just excessive. Yeah. It's really excessive, and they tried it.
If you're buying Birdiebee, you're buying it for the name. Now, also, this month and next month, the majority, I think they said, of their proceeds from sales, it is being donated. I can't remember what.
To Tom's? I think it's the Tom's shoes. They give shoes to a kid in Africa. I believe it's some organization like that. Oh, and Dress to Success, Bethany Franco's charity, where they give a donation of clothing to women who are going out to job interviews. Battered women and women in need. So and it's good, wonderful. Good, wonderful.
Whoever was in charge of making, like, I don't see Brie and Nikki as being, like, I'm not saying anything against their intelligence. I'm just saying that they, like most people, are just used to going out to the store and getting what they think's cute. They wear a lot of the spiritual gangster stuff. That shit's like $30 to $50 too. So to them, they're just like, yeah, that sounds about right. Sure. They just know what they've bought. Mm-hmm. And I can definitely tell that they didn't sit down and really go, okay, this is I can see Brie Bella being like, oh, hey, this is cotton. That's great. Cotton's a natural material. And we're not using, like, a lot of dyes in our stuff. This is great. But, like, whereas other people out there would take that step to go further and see, like, what actually goes into making that cotton and how much of an effect it has on the environment. Like,
I mean,
it was just odd. It was just odd for me, the fabric textile choices coming from people who are so passionate. Like Brie is always posting stuff about environmental friendliness. Her and Daniel Bryan live this life where they're trying so hard to make as little impact on the environment as possible, and now she owns a company that helps massively pollute. But
I mean, it's just at the end of the day, like, I don't know what their business dealings were. I don't know who's manufacturing this clothes. Is it made in America? Like, I have no idea where they're making this clothing at. All I know is that something in the meeting, whatever the business deal, something went wrong because the marketing is just off. The marketing is just not there. It's not there.
It's one of those things that the team that they have entrusted themselves to,
they're not delivering.
Not a good team.
They're not a good team.
They've come in and they've designed some stuff, and like, the underwear and stuff is cute. I'll give it
cute.
that. And like, it actually has Pima cotton in it, which is actually an organic, good cotton. So good for that. But like, I feel like the Bellas came in and they picked their colors that they liked and the styles that they liked.
And put their name on it.
You really see a representation of them in that aspect. But as far as what it goes to making those clothes, what that process actually is, and the marketing aspect, I feel like they trusted that to other people because they are women who wear many hats, as we know. And whoever that team is definitely needs to get it under wraps. I think it was a terrible idea to launch your brand because, like, at the end of the day, textiles are textiles. People are going to use them or not. Like, and it's just how it is. So I can, like, for me as an environmentalist, I find that interesting that Brie is an environmentalist, feels that used those textiles. But hey, the majority of people do. But for me, the biggest problem was this brand prides itself on being inclusive of all women, and something all women can afford, all women can have access to feel good about. And it's a very limited selection. And I just feel like, you could have had that big pop, man. You could have done something like iconic. You could have got that Fenty level.
I love that you compared that because that was such a good comparison because, Kylie Jenner was just shitting on the game with her cosmetic line until Rihanna came in and she opened the doors for everybody. And
God.
she just
Rihanna's
killed it.
Has them gagging, man. It's sickening. It's beautiful. I love it. Like, for me personally, I really love cosmetics, and I tend to like to throw my money. I like to look at my money as my votes for whether I like something. So I like to put my dollar votes down on a company that's representative because that's the kind of future I want for myself, for my country, for my children. And that's how I can do it. I can influence it by putting my money in companies that do things like that. So I was like, anything Fenty Beauty puts out, girl, bring them on over. But,
I don't know. But at the end of the day, girl, I just don't see anybody paying $65 for a fucking tank top. It's just not logical. And you guys.
Most of them are actually sold out though, so people are paying.
Good. That's amazing. That's great. I hope they're successful. It's just a bit too much for me in my price range. Maybe I'm poor, whatever. It's just my opinion, and I feel like it's kind of like shady. And I feel like they kind of like tried it a bit, and they didn't keep their fans in mind. That's just how I feel. That's my personal opinion. So if you guys want to get mad, Bella Army, I don't give a fuck. I love the Bella Twins. I love them down. I hope they're successful, but it's just too much.
Like, I actually hope that they hear this and go, oh my God, they brought up valid points. And like, that's what one thing was, we had Blake point out, like, well, if you essentially be like, Bella fans, you should just support them. I'm like, we are supporting them by giving them constructive criticism about their brand, where they can take that criticism back now and go, oh damn, why didn't we think of that?
Yeah,
and get better in the future. Our criticism helps. I'm saying right now that if they dropped a plus size line and it was affordable, I would wear that every day. I would get my Nikki Bella pose on. I would take some selfies.
And look at how great their wine did with the team that they worked with to do the wine. That wine sold out so quick, it wasn't even funny. I think they sold out in like an hour. They sold out all the wine off the website. The Bella Twins, they had a good team with them. I just feel like with this whole Birdiebee thing, somewhere, somehow, something didn't go right. And they still got time to, this is the launch. They still got time to adjust and fix things and correct it. So this is that time when people come and let them know how they feel about the product, where they can improve, what they can change, and what's needed. And a lot of, fucking Nikki Bella has the biggest boobs in the world, you know what I mean? And she means to tell me that she don't think there's any boobs out there that are bigger than hers. Come on, some of these girls can't even fit their, bust lining through these shirts. They're too, small.
Oh, honey, come on now.
It's all for the Yoga Valley girls.
Got you some D-cup bread. Yeah, and their lingerie, where it is very cute, it is not practical for women with large breasts. I'll say that right now. There's not enough to...
It's a cute thing. It's a cute thing for a petite girl.
Me personally.
Maybe the petite girls, they probably feel like, oh, why can't something be just for us? Like the plus size girls, they have plus size stores and plus size lines. But the Bella Twins are the fucking Bella Twins. They have a fan base of plus size women, small girls, big girls, tall girls, little girls, teeny girls. There's all different shapes and sizes. And I agree with you, Brandy. They should have opened the door a little more for their launch. That's it.
Yeah. And they've got this one very middle American blonde chick as their model, modeling all these clothes. And I'm like, okay, I understand that maybe they were like, we're Mexican Italian. Let's go with the opposite of us. But if it was me, this is how I would pull.
The marketing is garbage. The marketing is just awful. It's not there.
To get it all the way together, they need to get some representation.
Get an Instagram person.
The diversity of women. And if they're going to launch this plus line, then they need to go all out with it. They need to get someone, Ashley Graham, fabulous, wearing their clothes.
Oh, they can't afford Ashley Graham. Maybe they could get Nia to wear some of their clothes.
Yes, get Nia, too. They're going to have to diverse it up because right now, it's kind of looks like your typical crunchy yoga.
Yeah, it looks like athletic wear for $60. $60 for an athletic wear. You're just paying for the name, you're paying to support the girls. So shout out to you for the people that went out there and paid $65 for a tank top. Shout out to you. But to the people that said, absolutely not, that's ridiculous, I feel you. I understand where you're coming from. So that's that. So now, let's talk some total fucking divas. Because, bitch.
I did what total fucking divas?
Let me tell you real quick, Brandy, because this is going to be our last little topic. So we had, it was a good little launch show, right? Whatever. It was the basic total diva storylines where, I watched it with my boyfriend Jared, and he made the greatest point ever watching this show. And it just clicked to me. So we're watching it, and, the whole Naomi and John storyline is going on. He's not being romantic. He wanted to go buy her spaghetti. They went out for dinner or whatever. He went to drive-thru and try to order spaghetti through a drive-thru. And Naomi was like, I'm not eating fucking spaghetti through a drive-thru. Absolutely not. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, he ends up cooking dinner for her at home. So now she's happy because they spent time together. This, that, and the third. And then come to find out John ordered the food. And that was the food from the drive-thru that he went to go pick up that she ended up eating or whatever. So, and then Jared looks at me, he's like, this is why this show's not as big as it's supposed to be big. He's like, these storylines are so fake. They set it up where every issue is concluded in the same episode. There's no cliffhangers, with the successful housewives, basketball wives, wags, what else? All those wives shows, and the Kardashians. There's always a continuation to the storyline, whereas though Total Divas settles their storylines in one episode. And that's just so stupid. And he's like, and I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. That doesn't make no damn sense. Though I was like, I understand that there's 7 seasons in, and their formula seems to be working, and they seem to be comfortable with their ratings that they begin, the demographic, whatever they generate. But I'm like, you're absolutely right, because it would be great to see this feud of Maryse and Brie Bella still going. You know what I mean? But we're not getting that because Brie Bella's not on the road anymore, blah, 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 whatever. I'm just using that as an example for storyline. So I was saying, long story short, because I know you guys get what I'm saying, I'm just rambling. I was saying that for the girls that film Total Divas, I feel like WWE needs to make them sign a contract, right? Whereas though, when they're filming, these girls are supposed to stay in the same hotel together as they're on the road together, because they're filming the TV show as a group. So when you're all going together, I want them to stay in the same hotel, same area together. I want, after every Monday Night Raw, they have to film like a dinner together, so they can hash out issues. Because when you watch The Housewives, that's where all the classic arguments come from, all the shade, the good stuff. It doesn't have to be shade, it could be fun and stuff, like, you know, when the good times happen. Like, remember when they had that whole dinner in Tamina? No, it wasn't Tamina, it was Naomi threw a drink at somebody. Some shit went down. I forget who was going at it with Naomi. I don't remember, but Naomi got pissed and threw a drink or some shit. Or somebody threw a drink and it got Naomi, and Naomi got, it was Alicia Fox who threw the drink, and Naomi was heated. That was great. Everybody was talking about it. Oh my God, Alicia Fox and Paige at the fucking Naomi was ready to drag her. You know, like, that's what people want to see on reality TV. And Total Divas doesn't give it. They give you the structured fucking storylines, and then they conclude by the end of the episode. That's just stupid. And I was like, you know, you're right. That's why I always check out of Total Divas after a while. But anyways, so that was her story. And then we move on to Maryse and Nia Jax. Now, this is the one that really made the episode. This is what I noticed that everybody's talking about. Whatever, you know, Natty was cute with her family. I think Natty deserves a spin-off with her family, even though there's rumors that Miz and Maryse are getting one on the network. But it would be nice for Natty and the Hart family to have one, and it could just be called the Queen of Hearts, and Natty could be in the front. You know, she's the Queen of the Hearts. So it'd be great.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, everybody had their little thing. We didn't see Carmella yet. We'll see Carmella next week, which was cool. But we got to meet Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax this week, for the people who don't follow WWE, this, that, and the third. So here we go. We walk in with Maryse sitting down on the makeup table, right? And she just got drafted from SmackDown, and she's on Monday Night Raw. Nia Jax comes up to her. Nia Jax is, you know, they're having a conversation. Nia Jax is like this, oh, don't you miss being a wrestler? Don't you miss not being a part of the Revolution? And Maryse was taken back by it. She was like, what do you mean not being a part? She's like, you know, like, you don't wrestle anymore. Let it out. Like, Nia just threw it out there, you know, like, whatever. And Maryse is like, okay, I had my career, this, that, and the third, whatever. So, you know, Maryse let it go. And then she caught that shade. Maryse is not a dumb woman. Maryse has been around. She can catch shade. So, and you guys know, like, I call it as it is. That's how I seen it. That's how I'm calling it. I understand. You guys know I love Nia Jax, and I was here last week defending her, saying that what she did was right. Walk the fuck out. Fuck WWE. If they're not gonna value you, they're gonna go make you lose, blah blah blah. You guys heard me. I don't give a fuck. I say it how it is. But this week, Nia was fucking wrong. So, you know, and then Maryse walks up to them later in the day, and Nia's talking about her gauntlet match. I got a gauntlet match tonight, blah 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 blah. Maryse is like, oh, what happened? She goes, oh, I have a gauntlet match. Have you ever been in a gauntlet match? And this is coming off the shade that she said to her earlier in the makeup chair. And then Maryse is like, girl, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to get at? Why are you coming at me like this? Like I did my time, you know? Like, what you're saying is kind of disrespectful to the women from the past. Like, you're acting like I don't do anything. Like, I haven't contributed to this division. And you know what? I agree with Maryse. I feel like Nia was a bit out of place. I feel like Nia, the way that Nia was talking to her, that's not how you speak to a vet. Maryse is the third longest reigning women's champion. And then when Maryse went home, and one of the guys that got me hot on Twitter was telling me, oh, she even told her husband even shitted on her career, talking about 2-minute matches. I was like, that's when I just stopped replying to this kid. I was like, you're so fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry. I don't like to call people stupid, even though wrestling fans can be stupid. But this kid in particular, let me call him out. What's his Twitter name? Hold on. Un momento. This is perfect. His Twitter name, his name is Ghetto Snob, and his his Twitter thing is ugly by nature _. He didn't tell a lie, guys. He didn't tell a lie. But anyways, I digress. He goes, oh, even her husband practically shaded her career and said it was trash, blah, 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 and it's no fault to hers, which is true, blah, 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 blah. I was like, you're a fucking idiot. That's not what he said. He told Maryse, listen, when you were champion, when they put the belt on you, you had 2 minutes to get out there to go make people react to you. And what did Maryse did? She made us all react to her. We all loved Maryse when she had her 2 fucking minutes.
Everyone that talks about wrestling from that era, they have something to say. Maryse made an impression.
She did.
When
and
she was there.
She had 2-minute matches.
She might have only had 2 minutes, but she was going to be on fire those whole 2 minutes. And she was.
And she was. She was impactful. She made enough of a name for WWE to bring her back. WWE didn't just bring her back because she's the Miz's wife. Like, that is one of the reasons, but Maryse has charisma. Maryse can take a bump. Maryse can wrestle. Maryse is our 3rd longest women's champion. Maryse has done her things. We could use her for Total Divas as well. There were other ways that WWE saw the ways to make money with Maryse, and they were absolutely right. She helped regenerate her husband's career and brought her husband to another level, which I really feel like the Miz is being propped to move over to the main event real soon. Miz is going to be a main event player, and I mark that now. And his wife helped contribute that. So when Nia comes with that shade about, oh, have you been in a gauntlet match? Absolutely, Maryse has been in a gauntlet match. Isn't that where she lost her title, or wasn't that a 4-way match? I think that was a fatal 4-way match.
I'm not sure, but like when I saw because I didn't see the makeup chair shade, I just saw the Maryse freak out, so it seemed like really out of context. I guess it was really out of context to me. I was like, I don't understand that.
No, because you had to watch what Nia said to her. You had to watch what Nia said.
There's this problem that people have where they look at the like Divas era and they judge all those women over the fact that they had shitty storylines. I'm like, that does not speak to anything about them as athletes. These women are still athletes. Maryse is an athlete. If you don't believe that, go fucking look at her in a bikini. That bitch has got muscles. She's an athlete. They did the best with what they had, and they went out there every night with smiles on their face, knowing that they were not being taken seriously and doing everything that they could in that moment to try to get there. You know, there was that table for 3 where Kelly and Maryse and Eve talked about how, like, everyone who's such a fan of this generation of women now like to shit on them.
Yeah.
But they still deserve their props. You know, they were still in the ring every night. They still had to train. They were still taking bumps. They were still doing their business. It's the same as the people who are like, oh, the Bella twins. The only reason they're famous is because they're who they're dating. I'm like, I'm sorry. Was Daniel Bryan and John Cena in the ring taking those bumps? Were they the ones breaking their neck with the rack attack? Were they the ones jumping off the top and second rope doing that? No.
It's just shade, and then you get the biased fans.
They just love to take it away from people, and it makes them feel better. But
I understand.
Maryse deserves respect.
Yeah, absolutely, and I understand. Like, Nia's funny. She's off the cut. She's a guy's girl. You know, she likes to rough and tough you up and stuff like that. But at some point, you're at work. You gotta be respectful to the vets. And Maryse is a vet if you haven't seen one. And I gotta tell you, I am so proud of Maryse, because Maryse is one of the girls from my day when I was like, oh my God, I love wrestling. My girls. And Maryse was one of my girls. And I love them. And I love Nia. But Nia was out of place. And I'm glad that Maryse, as a vet, checked her. And you know what? And you guys, I understand you guys love Nia Jax. I love Nia Jax too, but sometimes you gotta call a spade a motherfucking spade. And Nia was fucking wrong. Even Alexa Bliss sat there and was like, yo, maybe you like the way that you say things sometimes can come off a bit shady. Because Alexa Bliss pulled her aside and was telling Nia, maybe you should just apologize, because she feels like her feelings are hurt, like you came at her career. Because that's exactly how I felt too. I was sitting there like, oh, excuse me, Nia, like, why are you acting like this? And then they showed a trailer of Nia still going at it with people. But I don't know who Nia's going at it with next. But I can't wait to see. And I will call out whoever's acting a fool, because Brie Bella acted like a total fucking bitch a couple of seasons ago to Eva Marie. And I dragged fucking Brie Bella from under the rug, through the rug, on top of the rug, and out through the building. I dragged Brie.
We all did.
Yeah, she was a bitch.
That, and I was like, poor Eva. But, like, Nia, I think that she is one of those people that, and we all have them in our life, where they just say something.
Yeah.
They either don't mean anything by it, or they legitimately don't realize how rude they're being.
She was poking. She was poking. Nia was definitely poking.
Thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah. It is a good thing that Maryse checked her. It is a good thing that wrestling fans got to see that happen, because that's a huge part of that business. Is like, it's very respect driven. That's one thing that kills me.
That's what Maryse said.
Fans, like, have no respect for the performers.
Oh no, they don't.
And
it's all about their favorites.
The utmost respect for each other, and it's just such a weird dynamic.
No, the career has changed, especially when it comes to the fans. Like, WWE wrestling has changed. It's all about favorites and fandoms. It's all because of social media now. Because, you know, when we grew up watching wrestling, there was no such thing as social media. And now it's all these groups. You know, it's the groups. Who likes who? So, you say something about Naomi, the Name Mob is coming after you with their pitchforks. You say something about the Bella Twins, oh, they're coming after you, bitch. They're coming. Now I'm like, oh, it's cute. Nia got her fan base too. Come. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Nia was wrong, and I still love Nia. I love Nia down. I think she's hilarious. I'm so glad that she's on Total Divas, and you need this type of stuff for Total Divas, for a reality show. You need it.
This is probably... Okay, like, remember when Eva first came? Mm-hmm. She was stepping all over everybody's toes, and that was her storyline, was this new girl trying to fit in. And that's why she got to stick around, and they cut JoJo, because Eva was interesting, because we saw her have those moments. I feel like that's what they're doing with Nia. That's Nia's role now. She's not the new Eva Marie, and as far as
she's the troublemaker.
All the shade, but she's the one who's constantly in some kind of conflict.
Renee did it last season. Renee was carrying all the bones last season. She was telling people's business with this, that, and Paige cussed her out in the park, which I was glad that Paige cussed her out. I thought that was great, and people were like, oh, Paige was wrong for cussing her out. Absolutely not. I still stand by Paige cussing out Renee. Like, I'm sorry. And then when she came in and cussed out Eva, that's when she was wrong. I felt like she shouldn't have cussed out Eva, because Eva didn't say anything. It was Natty. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, I call out these girls. So don't get mad, or don't, you know, honestly, if you guys don't like what I'm saying, you don't have to listen to my show. So, I mean, but you still come, hey, hi. I'm here. I'm still saying my shit, but I'm just sorry. Nia was wrong.
Keep on coming back to argue. Just keep on coming.
Nia was wrong. And Brandy, you know me.
I had someone tweet at me today because of all the Bella Twin stuff. Mm-hmm. Before I could even reply, she blocked me. And I was like,
I love those.
I didn't even say anything to you yet.
I love those when they throw their little shade and then they go and block you. I live for those. Like, whatever. Like, this kid, he ain't even gonna get a response from me. Like, I'm just the ugly kid, whatever. Ooh, I'm not calling him ugly, guys. That's what his shit says. Like, no word of a lie. His thing says, ugly by nature _ So if you guys want to be a rider and go and tag him and get into his ass, go for it. I really don't give a fuck, because you guys know I live for the shade. But, you know, it is what it is. Kudos to Alexa Bliss. I like that Alexa looked at Maryse. She was like, yo, I don't know what just happened. Because Alexa Bliss was a bit taken back out of this confrontation, because Maryse went off. Like, Maryse had it, because, you know, Maryse at first, Maryse let it go. She was just like, you know, whatever, she's being shady, whatever, bitch. Because I caught that shade. I was like, whatever. You know, these little kids don't catch shade these days, whatever. They wait until, I guess you gotta, you know, these kids are fucking stupid. Like I said, they're fucking dumb. So, you know, you don't catch the shade. But Maryse is schooled and seasoned. She caught the shade. She was like, no, bitch, like, shut up. You haven't even been champion yet. Like, if I was Maryse, that's what I would have said. Like, bitch, where's your belt? They haven't even put a championship on you. You're here because of who your cousin is, bitch. Let's get it really popping. You know what I mean? Like, that would be Maryse being petty. That would be Maryse really digging in on her and overreacting. But Maryse didn't. She kept it really professional, and she kept it into work. Like, this business is built on respect. And Maryse was absolutely right, and Nia deserved that fucking dragon by Maryse. I'm sorry. I love Nia, but Nia's still a new kid. She's still one of the rookies, and Maryse is one of the vets. Maryse put her together, period. And as much as you guys love Nia, and I know there's those Maryse stands too, you guys love Maryse's salty, shady ass too. And Maryse can come off as a bitch. I'm not denying that. But at that moment, Nia Jax tried her, and Maryse isn't the one. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. It was also the one thing, like, because I just saw that one clip, the one thing that came off, like, to where I was like, I would not have said that for me, and I think a lot of people missed it, is when she says that about the language barrier.
Yeah, that was rude. That was so rude. Like, Maryse speaks English, bitch. Like, I was just like, oh, that's when I was like, oh, no, she's being mean. She's being a mean girl. I don't care. Like you can love Nia Jax down all you want, like I do.
Like,
I love her down. I could be a mean one too. I could be a bitch too. I do it on the show all the time.
I probably.
Oh, you cut off, Brandy.
Yeah. I feel like that was just like a back and forth where it was just a little dig and a little dig and a little dig. So, but I'll have to go back and watch it. I haven't even.
I don't know. I just felt like Nia was like, then she did feel
the YouTube of it.
Afterwards she looked like she felt like a bit of remorse. Like she was probably like, damn, I kind of like fucked up. And that's when she had that conversation with Alexa Bliss. Alexa's like, girl, like, sometimes you don't think before you speak. And even Alexa was saying like, Alexa being her friend, Alexa didn't want to straight out say like, girl, that was rude, because, she ain't a real, she is her real friend, but she ain't that friend to be like, girl, you're wrong for that. And I'm that friend. That's why me and my friends, we butt heads all the fucking time. Like, but hey, that's why we've been best friends for like 10 years, because we keep it fucking real. I tell you, bitch, you're wrong. Shut up. You're wrong. You go fix it. And I like that Alexa pulled her aside and was like, yo, sometimes you don't think about what you're going to say. You just let it all out. You have no filter and blah, blah, blah. She was just like, so it came off that way, even though you probably didn't mean it to come off like that. But, that's the way she took it. That's the way it came off. And that's the way I took it. Like, how are you going to walk up to her? Oh, how does it feel that you're not a part of the women's revolution? Oh, do you know what a gauntlet match is? Like, bitch, get the fuck out of here, Nia. Like, yeah. So I don't blame Maryse. Nope. And I'm glad that she gave Nia that reaction, because that's the reaction Nia Jax deserved. So she'll never come for Maryse again on TV. I bet you that. She won't, because Maryse is not here for it. Absolutely not. And I think Maryse's performance on Total Divas this season is the reason why WWE wants to give her own reality show. Because, she did one season. Now she's comfortable being in front of the cameras. I feel like Maryse is more honest this season. So it's going to be a bit more interesting, because they showed a clip where her telling Alexa Bliss, like, you need to start dressing like a champion. You're a champion. And you know what, Maryse? I agree with you again. Alexa Bliss does not know how to dress. I talked about that last week on this show. Like, really? Like, I literally said that. I'm like, yo, she's coming out in, like, a long-ass shirt with a fucking vest on. Like, you're small. You're, like, 5 foot. Like, what are you doing?
She does have unfortunate fashion sense.
Oh, it's horrible.
But any outfit I've ever seen her in, I've just not liked.
I just like her in her gear. I prefer Alexa Bliss in gear all day. Don't put her in street clothes.
I mean, there's been some times where I call this, like, the basic bitch gear for my area. Like, when it gets a little bit wintry, all the girls like to wear this. They wear the really long shirts with their tight jeans tucked into some boots. And I'll be damned if I have not seen Alexa Bliss strut her ass out to the ring in that very outfit. And I'm like,
really?
Alexa, why?
Yeah,
Charlotte needs to be like, hey girl, here's my stylist who got me all the way together. You might want to talk.
Yeah, Charlotte had her problems, but she got it together. Like she found.
Because Charlotte went, I need a stylist. Damn.
I know. Remember Stephanie McMahon used to come out looking super questionable, and now she has a stylist. Like, Alexa Bliss needs to figure it out. Like Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella is a good dressed one. Sometimes her red carpet looks, I'm like, really, Nikki? Like, what the fuck? But I love how Nikki Bella dresses.
My favorite quote ever about Stephanie McMahon's style was there when... What? I couldn't hear you.
No, go ahead. I didn't say anything. Go ahead. Brandy? Oh no, did I lose you?
I lost you.
Oh, what were you saying? Say that again.
Oh, sorry, I'm going in and out of connection here. I was saying my favorite quote about Stephanie McMahon's style I saw on Twitter one time, and it said, Stephanie McMahon out here like dressing like she don't know one gay. And I was like, it's true. Your gay fans get you together faster than anybody else over what you're wearing, though.
I love it. I live for it. Yeah, because Stephanie was in some tragic pieces. But, I love all the girls. I know, like, this is going to be a tough show for some people to swallow because, we had to talk about the Bella twins and we didn't typically agree with some of the business decisions, but, it is what it is. I hope they're successful. I pray to God they're successful because I really want Nikki Bella and Brie Bella to be in that Kardashian status because that's my girl. They're my girls. I want them.
I'm so attached to them now.
Yeah, I want them to be successful. And that's why I'm like, really, girls? This is what you guys going to put out? Come on. You could do better. That's just all I see. And the Nia Maryse feud, because I know a lot of people, this is a heated point. I love Nia. You guys know I do. And I still stand by her walking out Monday Night Raw, not taking that bullshit to lose to Sasha Banks. But you see the attitude she gave Sasha Banks, like, I'm not losing to her. And you mean to tell me she ain't going to go shade Maryse? Really, guys? Really?
That's true.
She's going to shade...
Oh, man, I'm so sad I didn't see this, but I didn't know I was going to be on the show today.
No, I mean, really. Like, she's not going to lose to Sasha Banks, who's a 4-time women's champion, done this, that, main evented, Hell in a Cell, da-da-da. She's not losing to her, but she won't shade Maryse, though. No, James, she didn't shade Maryse. Maryse overreacted, James. She didn't shade Maryse. But she can shade Sasha Banks, huh? Right? Is that what we're doing? Fuck out of here.
Well, I feel like maybe, because, there's the whole rumored Sasha-Alexa...
beef,
legit heat.
Yeah.
So if her and Alexa are as good friends, I can kind of see why she would be more openly shady.
I mean,
Sasha.
But the thing is, the whole thing with her and the Sasha thing, I agree with her. You shouldn't be losing to fucking Sasha Banks. Walk out. I agree. But I don't agree with you being nasty to Maryse over her career. You're being shady. I don't care what anybody says. It was just a question. She just asked the question. No, you're being shady. And Maryse is not the fucking one. And I stand by Maryse by that. I stand by her. 100%. I'm there. I'm right behind her with my hands on my hips. Like, try it, bitch. Try it. Try it, bitch. So, it is what it is. I love the girls. I love Nia. I do. She's one of my favorites, but hey, you gotta call a spade. Nia, you're wrong, girl. Fix it, Jesus. But Brandy,
we gotta give it to them that they gave us good drama for that episode.
Oh, they did. I lived for it. Look at it. They gave us a topic. This is what I live for. Like, Total Divas. Like, good, come through. So I can't wait to see what else the season has to bring. Like, Lana's practicing. She's training to wrestle. The girls are being shady. Even Rusev is very hard on her with her training. I was like, damn, Rusev, calm down, man. Calm down. I feel like Lana needs to get Rusev out of the room when she's practicing her moves because he doesn't want her to get hurt because Lana already got hurt once practicing, so that still lingers on his head. Like, I don't want my girl to get hurt again and then sidelined and shit. So it is what it is. But Brandy, we've said a lot.
We've said so much.
I want to thank you for joining me. We got to do this again soon. This was so, good. I was so glad that we finally got this time to talk again. And we had some pretty good things to talk about this week. So, it was good.
We did. Who would have thought? I thought it was going to be slim pickings week, but here we are.
Absolutely not. You know me. I like to squeeze and get all the tea. I want it all. Get it all out. Get it. So... Brandy, you want to give out your social media platforms and you want to give out the other podcasts where they could find you at and listen to you and all that good stuff?
Oh, well, no, I'm not on a podcast. I haven't been doing anything.
Oh, you haven't done that?
I am at Miss WrestleBlog on Twitter, where I pop in on occasion and say some wrestling stuff. But I just haven't been doing a lot of wrestling related stuff lately, but I still keep up with it and I still tweet my opinions.
Yes.
So if you want to hear my opinion, you can hear it there.
Definitely, guys. And I suggest you guys go follow Brandy because I always look at Brandy's opinions because they always make sense to me. And sometimes when I'm going off the rails, I go read it and I'm like, okay, let me bring it back, bitch. This is too much. But no, we usually on the same page, Brandy. Usually. Mm-hmm. Most of the time. But Brandy, thank you so much for joining me this week. And I'll catch you later.
I'll catch you later. See you.
Toodaloo. Bye. I love Brandy. That's my girl. So thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. I didn't take questions today because last week I put up questions. I got a couple. So next time send more questions, and then I'll do less. You guys do questions again because some of you guys didn't send in questions. But if you guys want to send questions in advance, do them on Wednesday nights, okay? After NXT, after you watch NXT, if you want me to answer a question on the show and you're not sure what time I'm going to ask you guys to send in questions, just start sending them directly after NXT on Wednesday, and then I'll, so everybody can send in their questions, because I know I do randomly just pop in and be like, hey guys, send me questions. So after NXT, guys, because I usually record on Thursdays, that's the day. So send me in your questions. So thank you guys, and don't be in your fucking feelings. Get out of your bag. Stop digging in your feelings. I'm not personally attacking you or the superstars. This is a podcast. It's a platform. We have to discuss things, and sometimes my opinions might not be your opinions, and my deliverance might be a little harsh sometimes, because I'm from the Northeast. Like, this is just how we are. We're rough, we're tough, we give it to you straight. That's it. Sorry. Straight shooter, pow, like Wendy Williams. But thanks, guys. Toodaloo.